Hi everyone, how are you? If you don't know me, my name is Gwen and I run a YouTube channel called Faraday Academy where I do mostly Vue.js and Python Django content, videos and live streams on there. And freeCodeCamp is letting me stream from their channel again today. Now last week I built one of the projects, the quote machine, using basic HTML and Vue.js, and I received some comments and issues and one PR from that. So thank you for all your contributions. So I've updated it over the last week. And now this week I'm going to be working on the Markdown Previewer. So here's the repo. I'm just going to post it in the chat and you can take a look. That has all the code from last week and also whatever code that I write from today. So yeah, if you don't know, this is one of freeCodeCamp's projects. They're front-end projects that you usually build with React on their platform, but you can really build it with any type of JavaScript framework. So today I'm going to be using Vue and the Vue UI framework Inkline. So it's similar to Bootstrap. It's really good for responsive design, and it's also one of the simpler frameworks, but still robust enough to have a grid system and a lot of the components that you would need. So I'm going to be using this framework today. And yeah, let me go into the terminal. So I have the main repo with all the different Markdown Previewer, quote machine, and all the different folders in it. So I'm going to go into the Markdown Previewer folder. All right, let's see. By the way, if you're here, feel free to say hi, make comments, suggestions, anything during the stream. All right, so now I have Markdown Previewer, and let me see what's in here. So right now it's just my README and mockup, so I'm going to create an app folder with my Vue app. And today, instead of HTML, I'm going to be using the Vue CLI to create this. So if you go to the Vue.js website, you can just install Vue with npm if you want to globally, or use npx, and then you have access to the Vue CLI. So I'm going to do Vue create a new app, and what should I call this? I'll call this Markdown Previewer. Invalid. Oh, it can't contain capital letters. All right, so let's see if that works. All right, cool. And now it's taking me through, asking me what options I want to install. So I'm just going to do the default because I'm not going to need routing and state management and stuff. All right, so that's installing. It'll take a minute. And then I'll open this up in a code editor. Let me go ahead and pull up the Inkline getting started. So these are all the ways that I can install it. The Vue CLI, that should be the easiest. So I'm just going to add this as a plugin right after I finish installing. All right. I don't know if I'm seeing the chat. Have there been any chat messages? Let me see. Oh, I guess not. Okay. So I moved the... Oh, that's weird. I didn't realize it would follow me around on different screens. That's interesting. All right. Installing packages. Oh, and the Markdown library. I looked at a couple just to see which ones were updated. The Markdown library that I'm going to use is Vue Markdown. The last update was about a year and a half ago, but it seems to still be working well, and it has a live demo. So this is the one I'm going to install and use. All right, cool. So now I have the folder Markdown Previewer, and I'll go in there. Okay, now I'm in my folder, and let me open my code editor. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now I have a new Vue.js application with the hello world. Let me run this first, actually. So let me do npm run serve, and then I can open it up in the browser. Localhost 8080. Okay, cool. So that's working. Now I'm gonna have to stop the server because I want to add incline. So I'm gonna copy this and stop the server and view add incline. There are uncommitted changes. Yes, I still want to proceed because I haven't done anything to the repo yet. Okay. So I'm installing incline. And the next thing I want to install before I rerun the server is Vue Markdown. So I'm going to go ahead and get the install for this. npm install Vue Markdown. All right. Oh, I don't know why it's showing this other screen. I was trying to see if there was chat, but that's okay. I'll just be talking to myself. Let's see, Markdown Preview. Okay, so that installed. And now I'll do, let's see. Oh yeah, let me run the server again. And it's building, it's building. There you go. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to start setting up the component. So in my, if I go into the Markdown Previewer in that repo, I have just a basic, just a basic like side-by-side, write Markdown and see the preview on the other side. And this is actually, I looked back at my old freeCodeCamp projects from 5 years ago, and this is the exact same thing that I built in React 5 years ago. So I just borrowed the same design basically for this one. So let me go to incline actually, and I'm going to set up the grid system for the page. So this is exactly like Bootstrap column-wise. So it has 12 columns and everything. And let me just take the grid. All of the components for incline are wrapped in I. So it's just like most other Vue frameworks. Like Vuetify is v-container, element is e-container, and incline is i-container. All right. So let me actually copy all of this, the container row and column. And I'll go to the app component. And now I'm going to delete everything that's in there. And I'm also going to delete hello world, delete the component, and delete all of this styling that I'm not going to need. All right, so in here, let me do an I container, I row, and let me close the container. Okay, so now I have a row, and in this row I want to have 2 columns because I want a column for this big text field where I input the markdown and the formatted text on the other side. So let me go ahead and add that. So yeah, different column. So I'll just copy that. Okay, so now I have 2 columns, and inside of the first column, and actually I don't want these to be full width, so this is taking up all 12 columns. So I'm going to put from small screen size up, let's see, to take up 6 columns. All right, and then the same thing on this one. So for small, and then I'll take up 6 columns. All right, cool. And now inside of the first one, let me find a text area in Inkline. So let me look for text area. All right. Sure why it's not closing. There we go. So clearable text disabled. I just want the basic text area. Let me grab this one, and eventually I'll set a height on it. Okay, let me grab that, and then basically just need to v-model it somewhere. So let's see, v-model to value. So I need to create a value. So let me add a value variable in data. Oops, it's too much. Okay, so let me add data function and return the data variable, which will be an empty string to start with. And put that on separate lines, make it a little bit nicer. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put enter markdown here. And it models to the value, which, oh, I accidentally put data there. Let me put, let me actually put text. There, so now it's text. And let me check, see if that's working. Okay, cool. So I can enter something here, and then in my Vue Dev Tools, I should be able to see the text here. I container, I row, I column, I text. Okay, so in the app component, I can see the, let me move my face. I can see the data is equal to whatever I type in. It's mapping. Okay, so the two-way data binding is working. And now I need to put some kind of a margin top to bring this down, and also a vertical divider in between both columns. It's already giving me, because I'm using the container element, it's already giving me a nice, let's see, container. Yeah, it's giving me a really nice margin on the outside. So I just need that same margin on the top, really. So let me add that. On the container, I'm going to add a class, and let me just look in Inkline what the spacing, actually I'll search for it. Let me see if they have spacing, oops, spacing or margin. Okay, so it has Sass variables that I can use. Sass variables for spacing. Okay. Now I wonder if I put Sass in. Oh no, I didn't actually install Sass with this app. That's fine. I'll add my own spacing in that case. Because when I set up the Vue CLI, I just set up the default. So there's just linting and stuff basically. So let me do style, and I'll give this a class of, I guess I'll just call it container. And I'm going to style that container. So style the container as margin top of 40 pixels. Okay, that adds some margin top, and then I'm going to add a title here. So I can't remember what I did on the mockups. I think, oh, I just said Markdown. Okay, let me add that title then. It'll be in the same column right above the text area, so I'll do H1 Markdown. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And now I have this, and now let me add the vertical line here. So let's see if it has a vertical line. Vertical. Vertical grid flex. Okay, well, I guess not. So that's fine. I guess I'll add that later. Let me then just copy this title, and then I'll put formatted text here. Okay, so that's fine, and then I'll add I guess a border to one of the sides and hope that it's even. Let's see, in the column, so I should add it to the column, I guess. So if I add a border here, let me just try it out in the browser. So let me move 1 second. Let me wonder if I can, oh, there we go. All right, so let me add a border right of 1 pixel solid. Okay, I think that looks pretty good because of the padding that the columns are giving me. So it's pushing it, it's giving it the same amount of padding pretty much on either side, I think. So okay, so now I have to add that here. And so let me add, for column here, let me add a custom class. I'll just call it column. And then down here, I'm going to add dot column. And I'll say, what was it, border right of 1 pixel solid. Oh yeah, semicolon there. Okay, and that should default to black. Oh no. Okay, so I think so this must have the same class of column because it's giving me 2. So I thought maybe Inkline would give it a class of iColumn or something. But no, it's just column, which is fine. So let me give it, I'll just call it custom. No. let me call it something, what I'm actually doing with it. Let me call it border right. And then I'll update this down here to border right. All right. Okay, cool. So now it has the border. Let me set a height on this then, on the input. So let me go back to text area, and I'll search for height. Nope. So I might have to just set the height attribute. Sizes. Oh, this is just setting the text sizes. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they have a prop. They accept a prop for height. So I guess that's just styling, which makes sense. So text area. Let me put a class here, which will be text area. Or I'll call it text area height. All right, so here I'll do a class text area height, and then let me say height is, I don't know, 400 pixels. Let's see what that looks like. Oh wait, that didn't save. Oh wait, I made a typo there. Okay. So 400 pixels. Well, that changed the vertical line, but it didn't really change this, the text area. So I wonder if I just pass in, let me see. Let me edit the HTML here. So if I just say height directly inside the element, I think I can do 400. Nope. Because it's draggable, but I'd rather just have the height. I might have to, oh, that's kind of cool. You can just drag, it doesn't expand past its container. Good. So let me look up real quick setting text area height. Should I size text area? So it seems like you can just do width and height. Yeah, why can't I use width and height? Am I doing this wrong? You have 400 pixels. And let me just do a text area class, because text area height as a class seems weird. Okay, so I have text area. And now let me refresh. Okay, well, it's not changing the height. I can try one more thing. Otherwise, I'll just move on. Let me try setting height directly here, because maybe it's just an undocumented API. I don't know. Okay, no, that didn't work. Get rid of that. All right, so I'll just leave that alone for now then, and figure out how to do that later. Anyway, so I have the text from here, and now I need to get the turn it into formatted Markdown on this side. So let me, so I already installed the Markdown library. So actually I need to pull in the component. So let me just look at the Markdown library. Okay, so I just import the component and then register it as a component. So let me copy that. And then, oops. So in script, I'll import Markdown, and then here I can register Vue Markdown. Okay. Cool. And then it's basically saying to pass in the Markdown text into the component, so into the default slot. So I'll just copy this and put it right here. Okay, first let me see if this displays on the page. So let's see. Can't resolve. Babel runtime. That's interesting. Babel doesn't seem to have anything to do with this Markdown Previewer. Let me see. Yeah, it's just saying to install Vue Markdown. And nothing else. Okay, let me look in the issues. What is it saying? Module not found, error can't resolve, Babel runtime core get iterator. Okay, so let me copy this real quick. And here. Nope. Let me see. Module not found. Let me see what it is in the terminal. These dependencies were not found. Babel runtime. All right. Let me try typing that in. So these dependency, or let me just type in Babel runtime. Cannot find module Babel runtime. All right. This is Electron, but that's the same error I'm getting. Delete node modules. Didn't seem to work for people. This is a popular answer. npm install save dev Babel. Let's see. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Install Babel runtime. And I wonder why they wouldn't list it as a dependency that you had to install. Let me install that. I guess I'll install it as a regular dependency if this library is going to need it all the time. So let me see if I install Babel runtime. All right. Installing. All right. Now let me try running the dev server again. Need some water. All right. Still, okay. Let's see if that works. Okay, sweet. So this is good. It's showing the markdown that I passed in here. Of course, it's not real markdown. Let me write something in markdown and see. Let me just make this text bold. So now the default should be bold. And it's not bold. Okay, it's bold now. I had to refresh. All right, cool. So the markdown is working. Now I just have to get this text inside of this markdown field. So let me just see if I can pass in the V model. So my text variable And it doesn't seem to be updating. So let me set a default text here and see if that works. Let me do hello there. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, how did I type it in there? Because it's V modeling to text. Okay, so I think it just doesn't update as I'm typing. It's not, the V model should be updating. So let me make sure that V model is updating. My Vue Dev Tools. In my app component, yeah, so the V model is updating. My text variable is updating, but it's not showing new output here. So I wonder how I can get it to re-render. Where's my library? Let's see. I'm guessing there's something here about re-rendering. The dist folder contains Vue Markdown. Okay. Okay, I think this is it. Watches, which is an array. HTML refresh automatically when the prop in this array changes. Okay, I think this is what I want then. Let me just see. Source. I wonder, so I think instead of using a default slot, maybe I can pass in the string as source. But in slots, I could probably do things like emojis. I'm not sure actually. Let me just see with watches. Let me pass an array to it. So let me go, let's see. Let me go to my Markdown and put this on 2 lines. And watches equals, oh, 1 second. Okay, cool. So that worked. I just wanted to fix the display, but I think that zoomed in a little bit too. Okay, so now let me come back to watches and oh wait, I need to pass an array here. So this should be JavaScript. Oops. And I think the syntax is, all right, so let's see if this works. Let me pass in text and let me refresh. Nope, it doesn't work. So the syntax must be, let me just see. So I'm passing in this prop watches to text. So when the text variable changes, the HTML should re-render, but it's not. So let's see, what am I doing wrong? Enable HTML syntax. Okay, so these are all default to true anyway. Dispatch when render finishes. Oh, these are the events. So I don't want to watch for the events. Let me see. Well, let me see if they have, yeah, they have an example folder. So let me go into the example of index.html and okay, yeah, so instead of the slot, they're passing in the string as source. Let me zoom in here. They're passing in the string as source. Anchor. Oh, here. Okay, so they have like 4 different examples here. Oh, they have a lot of different examples. Okay. Let's see. Set interval mounted this dot source. But this, I think, oh, so this set interval, I think, is telling it it's updating this dot source every time. So I wonder if I pass it in as source, if it's gonna watch for changes. Let me try that. Let me get rid of that and watches, and then do source as text, and then I'm gonna bind that. Bind that. Okay, so now let's see if that's watching for changes. I don't know. Yeah, sweet. Okay, cool. That was easy. So now if I press enter, and let me do header. Oh, cool. Awesome. That wasn't too bad. Header 2. And then I can do a checklist. Awesome. It's completely functional Markdown. Sweet. That wasn't too bad. Let's see. What could I change? Yeah, in the mockups, for some reason I thought maybe I'm going to want to click format manually, but actually I think this is good, that it just automatically updates and previews. That's much better than clicking a button. Okay, cool. So let me just see if I can get this to set a height. For some reason I'm not sure. Okay, style height. Is changing as I drag it, the style height. So I wonder, because when I search for height here on text area, it just doesn't say anything about setting the height, even in the examples. Oops, did I do something? Okay, my screen just went funny. All right, so even in the examples, I don't know why I'm caught up on the height of a text field. So I feel like I should be able to just set it. Well, here I mean it's setting it on style. So I have a class of text area, so let me see if I can set height. I have 400 pixels here. I wonder if that's being overwritten by Incline though, by the Incline framework. This is so weird. Let me try putting a regular text area just outside of the container. I'm gonna say text area, and yeah, just a plain text area. Oh, let me give it a class. Let's say class of text area. where is it? Yeah, this one, this regular plain text area I have is 400 pixels. So it's something about Incline that's not accepting that class. Let me try one more thing. Let me try to use a class that they're already, well, I guess they aren't assigning a class to it. Yeah. Oh, because form input, so there's a wrapper class around it. They wrap it in form input group, and then they wrap it in form input. So let me try to change the height of one of the other ones. Oh, let me try to change this one. Okay, so if I change, apparently, so if I change form input, the wrapper around text area, that should be good. So let me access or reference the form input class. And I'll get rid of this extra class. Okay, let me see if that works. It still doesn't work. Form input. So I think I need to, I'm gonna try one more thing. So is this, set this as a module? No, I can't remember. So there was something that you could do for dynamically updated classes. Actually, I wonder if Incline takes a set of classes that you can pass in. Let me search. Nope, they don't have anything about classes here. So I guess the only thing with Incline is to yeah, basically update the Sass variables, which I don't have Sass in my application, although I did, yeah, when I'm importing all of the Sass variables here and registering the components and everything. Okay, so let me think. I think there's something in Vue for CSS, and I think it's called module, Vue CSS module in component. Oh, it's been so long since I used this. Maybe it wasn't called module. Let's see. So I'm looking for the style tag. Yeah, it is called module. Okay. CSS modules. Then add the module attribute. Okay, then it should be available on this. Let me zoom in. It should be available now on the $ style. I wonder if that's going to change in Vue 3. Let me try that. So this style tag is scoped, so I'm going to add another style tag that I will put as a module. Oops. So style module, and close it. And now let me take this, and here I'm gonna put text area and height of 400 pixels. Okay, let me just make sure they're defining it as a class. Yeah, they are. They're defining it as a class. So let me try that. Let me now go to text area and do class equals style dot text area. And actually I'm thinking this might not work because I'm passing this into Inkline and I don't know which of the 3 DOM elements it renders are going to get that class. I have no idea. All right, so let me try. Yeah, I think it's giving the class to a different element, which is, let's see, app text area. Yeah, it's giving the class to the parent element, not to the child elements. So this form input group is getting the class, but I need it on form input. All right, I guess the only other thing I can try is to see if someone else has had this issue on Inkline. Let's see, text area height. And nobody. Nobody's even said anything about text area. All right, so that's something that I will have to figure out after the stream, or if someone has a recommendation, then you can let me know about it. Oh well. Yeah, so I think this is pretty much it. If there are no comments in the chat, then I think I'll just go ahead and push this code. And yeah, let me stop the Vue server. Let me do git status Markdown Previewer. Oh, right. So when I generated a Vue project in this directory, oh, I thought it created a new Git for me, but I guess it didn't because the parent has a Git directory as a Git project already. So let me go up and up to my freeCodeCamp projects, and now I'll do git status, git add this new project that I have, commit code from live stream on June 25th for Markdown Previewer. Okay, that looks good. Now I'll push it. Okay. And sweet. So now I have the Markdown Previewer code from today. All right, so if there are no comments or chat messages, it was a very quiet day. Next week I'll be building the drum machine at the same time if you want to tune in for that. And yeah, feel free to make a comment, raise an issue on this repo, and yeah, give me feedback or whatever. I'll be doing the Vue CLI again for the drum machine next week. And then for, I guess, the rest of the freeCodeCamp projects, they get a little bit more complicated with each one. So I'll start adding in other things like Vue Router, Vuex, and maybe even by the end of this, Vue 3 will come out. So then I can do something with Vue 3. Yeah, so thanks for watching, everyone. If you were snooping and watching, I can't see who's watching or anything, but I hope you enjoyed this, got something out of it. Don't forget to check out my channel, Faraday Academy, and have a great day, everybody. Take care.